Hi. I thought I'd give you a quick preview of some of the work that I've done on some scripts that can take a standard Linux install that if you've installed Ubuntu 20.04.5 LTS release onto a desktop environment and then run the standard RMS Linux install scripts. With these additional scripts, you not only can, if you like, make the desktop look and feel a bit more like the environment that you get on a Raspberry Pi, where everything's done by clicking on desktop icons and all of that good stuff. So let's just take a quick look. So this is a Virgin install. I've not configured anything, so you get your usual directories. This is just straight after those scripts have been installed. But what I have done is I've got a couple of scripts that I've downloaded onto this machine. So let's start by running one of those. So cd RMS. Get my case correct. Okay, so this script allows you to add individual stations. You can add more than one in one go. So I've got two cameras. So let's install both of those. And now the script will go off and create the necessary directory structures, create the desktop entries, and it'll prompt to install some additional utilities which people may find useful. I'm going to decline for the purposes of this demo because we don't need them. And as you can see, all of a sudden we've got friendly desktop icons for each camera, start capture and show live stream, and CMMBN viewer looks a bit more healthy. And just to prove to you, it's all real. It does work, bugs and all. So let's take a quick look at what we've actually done. So if we look at our new directory structure, these scripts have not touched anything in the default RMS installed packages. All it's done is create this additional directory at the source level of stations, and within each of these is the config data for each camera. Additionally, there are some scripts which you don't really need to worry about. They're just artifacts of how do you create desktop clickable icons, and it seems sensible to place those within each station, since they're by and large they're bespoke to each station in terms of what they do. So if we just take a look at the configs, it's taken the default config that RMS delivers, and it's also filled in some values. So it knew the station ID, so it's filled that in. It will also have, it doesn't touch the camera, and it automatically changes the data directory to the usual location that you'd expect to find it in your home RMS_data, but it's now in a subdirectory of that. So if we take a quick gander, further up here, where are we? So it's created these two directories, and of course they're empty at the moment because we've RMS has not actually run, and it's only at the first run that it creates the archive and the captures and all that good stuff. So for the sake of time, I've got a script that will just copy my configs. Oh, actually, one quick one. So if you notice that we're not, the default prompt isn't within the normal directory that you would expect to find. So if we relaunch the terminal, there we are. We're now within the VRMS environment. So the script modifies your bash RC so that you end up. So all told, it kind of emulates precisely what the user would expect if they were running on a Pi. So let me just run this quick script that will copy my configs over to from a saved directory, and then if we look in source stations, so now it's copied my plate par, it's created my mask, and it's updated my config. So I've now got interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Reload. Oh, it's because I already had it open. That's better. Where are we? Yep, there we go. So that's the address of my my camera. So now we can do things like show live stream, and it's daytime here, so we're not going to see a lot. But if you look, it has actually loaded. It's using the config in this station directory, so it's not using the default RMS config. So we can kill that. And B will work precisely the same. The script also creates auto startup entries, just as happens on the Pi. So if I move across a bit, if I log out of here, not quite sure what's going to happen to this video, but I'll log out and then connect back in again. So it's starting the X session, and lo and behold, it's launched both my cameras. And if we take a look at the RMS data directory, we've now got archive files, capture files, and log files. So if we take a look at the log for A, it says it's waiting 533.17, and that's precisely what. So it's all for real. It works, and this system it quite happily seems to support 2 cameras. I suspect it may support more, but I haven't actually tested that. I mean, it's not a particularly fast system. It's pretty aged i3 3.5 gig system with about 8 gig of RAM or something like that. So so out the box, the scripts actually kind of help a new user to start modifying their config file and get them up and running in a pretty safe and consistent manner. Gives them the same look and feel as running on RMS, running on an RPi, but with the advantage that you've got a lot more horsepower on most laptops and even old systems like this to run multiple stations. So what else have we done? Well, let's say you're more than likely probably to have already some Pis that maybe you want to migrate, or maybe you want to consolidate some of them. So what I've written is a helper file that will make the migration just that bit easier for everyone and less error prone, because it's all automated, so it's consistent and you don't miss things. So let me first just demonstrate another feature. So you can run this script multiple times. It will not overwrite any configs you've already made. It will check that you haven't got a station already configured. So if I try to add that station again, it knows and won't let you do it. So let me add a third one, and this is a kind of fake one. I don't own this station. The script, because it knows it's been run before, it doesn't prompt to add all of the extra software, so it saves time. And it's created these two links to station 001C, which I don't actually own, so probably somewhere out in the internet they do, in presumably UK based. But I'm just borrowing it for the moment. So let's say that station is hosted on a Pi. So what I've written is a migration script, and it merely prompts you for, surprise, surprise, the host name. And this is this Pi that I've got. It's got a fresh RMS image on it. So its host name is Raspberry Pi. If I could, oh no. And it's prompting for the parser, because what it's trying to do is it's trying to do a SSH copy ID, and so it's going to copy the public key that exists on this host into the Pi, and then thereafter you can do things like SCP without having to enter a password. So it's secure. So put in RMS Raspberry, and it's gone and hoovered up the config, the mask, the plate part, and the only public key it found. So this enables you, if you're going to migrate a system and want to use that particular key to upload to GMN, that you can just point the script at that key and it will work. So you don't need to send new keys to Dennis and create unnecessary noise. What else? So just to show you, oh yeah, the script also it opens the config and has a look inside to find out what the station name is. So that's why it knows. It doesn't know from the host name, obviously. So it's like, seems it does sensible stuff. So if we go and look in source, go and look in stations, we've now got station C, and it's got patently some sort of config and all that good stuff, and you can start a capture on it. Again, it's not going to really do much. So it's going to wait 11 hours. So that's kind of it. As I say, it doesn't touch any of the standard RMS files. So things like updates and stuff like that will work, transparently. One of the, if you like, challenges that I foresaw is that, say you're running like 3 stations on a system, it's under Linux. In my experience, RMS will run fine for months on end. you don't get some of these flaky bugs where you have to restart every night and things like that. But just from the point of view of keeping your RMS code up to date, you probably want to maybe update at least once a week. So as part of the install script, and I flipped through it because there's no, I just didn't want to waste any of your people's time. It will by default schedule an RMS update, and that script, it's not designed to be run interactively, but for the purposes of a demonstration, I will. So let me kick off, say, 2 captures. So just let them get going. And I've by default scheduled it kind of local UK time at 3 p.m. once on a Sunday. So like during a time when there's unlikely to be any activity either on the system from me having a look at it, or certainly it's not going to be night time. So so this is so you run the script, it kills the running processes and then performs the standard RMS update. So in the back, you can see all the usual stuff that you see when you do this. As I say, ordinarily this would run as a cron job, so you wouldn't see any of this because you just throw all the output to /dev/null on the basis that it's going to work. And when it completes, what it does is it looks to see how many cameras you've got configured, and it will restart them all. Correction. What it does is it starts all the cameras that it saw that were running. So yeah, I mean, it's more or less, it's pretty automated. It kind of works. We're in the early days of testing. I mean, the core code, because we're not touching anything in RMS, it means, we're not breaking anything. RMS update isn't going to break anything. And I have to give thanks to Dennis for some code changes he made, which made this work in the way that it does. So previously we had some workarounds which were a bit clunky, but they fixed a problem. But now, basically, RMS doesn't really care where you run any of the modules from. Well, certainly not the start capture module. It can be in any directory. It doesn't need to be anywhere near RMS, source RMS, and so this script just provides a convenient, consistent location for storing stuff and looking at stuff, and hopefully people may find it useful. So that's about it. As I say, quick preview. Potentially coming to a desktop near you soon, should you want. Cool. I'll end it now.